So it's 2024 and one of your New Year's resolutions is to take your trading seriously. This is the perfect video for those people who want to turn trading from more of a passion to trading like it is a business. If you want to succeed in trading, you need to treat it as a business from the very start. You don't want to get into the habit of having trading as a side hustle or a quick way to make extra money, because if you don't have full focus on trading, if you don't have enough time to actually commit to developing a strategy, developing a plan, a risk management plan, and actually getting experience in the markets with actual trading, then you aren't going to make the sort of money that you actually want to make from your trading career. And people often say they are a trader or a full-time trader. The time they put in isn't even enough for a normal job. So if you want to succeed in trading, which has a very, very high failure rate, then you're going to have to put in enough hours to see the results. So in this video, I'm going to go over 5 points that you can actually use to treat trading as a business and kind of change your mindset to take it away from a passion to turn it into a business in your mind as well. So first point is to remove any expectations you have for success. It sounds quite stupid because people always preach in business, in life, about setting goals, having targets and everything like this. And obviously if you are setting goals, then that is an expectation of what you're expecting to reach by the end of the year, if you're doing yearly goals or even the month or the following week. But I feel like with trading, it isn't something where you know in 6 months or 2 years where you're actually going to be. Especially if you are someone that isn't a fully profitable trader. In my position, it is a lot easier to say because I already have a strategy developed. I know how much I make on average per month. I know how much I actually lose in a month based on a really, really bad month. These are all things which you can actually calculate through years of testing and years of journaling. If you're actually at the start of your journey, whether it's the first year, the first 2 or 3 years, and you're not actually profitable, it's hard to actually gauge how to set your goal. If you remove any expectations for your trading journey, then this can definitely help you if you don't reach those goals when the time comes. The main thing that you should be focusing on, instead of setting these big lofty goals, 100k profit, 1 million in funding when you're not even fully profitable, is you need to focus on just increasing your strategy, increasing your edge in the markets. If you want to beat the 99% of traders out there that lose, obviously we don't know the true statistics of how many people win, how many people lose overall in the markets, but there's a very, very high percentage of people which actually fail. So if you want to be different to those 90% of people, then you're going to have to do things differently in your trading. A lot of people you'll see online, they treat it as just a little side hustle, and they put in an hour or 2 a week, or maybe an hour a day, and they expect to see the results of a trader like myself, who puts in, or did put in when I was learning, 5-10 hours a day non-stop until I found something that worked for me. On the channel, I often preach about how I only need to trade for an hour a day, and well, pretty much within half an hour I can have all my trading done for the day. And this is true. People get this confused with the learning phase and now trading as a profitable trader. It's not the same. You can't expect to trade 30 minutes a day as someone who's still developing their strategy and get the same results as me. When you're learning, when you're still not fully there, this is when you need to be putting in hours and hours and hours and hours of time dedicated to the charts, dedicated to collecting data, 2 or 3 years of previous backtesting of price action, and then also forward test or live trade it as well. This is how you can actually develop a strategy. And this kind of brings us on to point number 2, and that is that you need to take it seriously. People often, they'll put £500 into an account. They won't really use proper risk management. They won't journal their trades. They won't manage it like it is a business. And this basically comes down to them not taking it seriously. If they started a business and they put £500 into buying stock for the business to sell, I feel like you're going to be a lot more likely to actually try and treat it as a business. The main reason why people do this, I feel like, is because it's just numbers on a screen. Even when I'm in trades, oftentimes you kind of forget how much money you're actually risking and how much money you're actually making, because it is just a number on a screen. It's kind of like just looking in your bank account. You don't really truly feel what the money is like. Whereas if someone said, put down on the table 20k of cash, if you're in 20k profit, it's going to feel like, wow, I'm in a lot of profit here. But it's like with a business, if you have £20,000 worth of stock, of clothing, of items that you're actually selling, you can see the items, you can see what you're selling, you actually have the value there. Whereas with trading, It's just numbers on a screen on your phone. Like if you don't want to see it, you can literally just close the app and then you don't have to see those numbers. And this is kind of an easy way for people to not take it seriously because they don't see the physical money. So they just think, oh, well, a £500 account, it's only £50 that I've lost. But if you're treating it like a business, that's a 10% loss. In a business, if you lose 10% from one trade or one sale, then that's not a really good business, is it? But people are risking like it is nothing to them, but then they expect the results of a person that is treating it like a business. So you need to take it seriously in order to see success in trading. Following on from that to point 3, and this is that you need to operate like a business. If you're taking it seriously, then this step is quite easy, but operating like a business is quite simple. The way that I found the best way to actually do this is have everything that's trading related separate to my personal life. So my office, there's nothing personal in here, and I don't have any trading stuff in personal spaces. So what I know is when I'm in this room, it's work related, it's trading related. And it's the same as if you're going to an office job. You go into the office, you can't just have a little nap because you're working. And you know that when you're in that office, when you're in your studio or whatever you do for work, you know that is work mode. If you have a good environment to actually trade in and you're operating it as you would be working somewhere else, then this is a lot easier to actually get the work done and reduce distractions. Distractions are the worst thing for trading. If you're trying to trade, you're trying to backtest, you're trying to live trade even, and you're getting distracted, maybe it's your family, your pets, or you've got the TV on, you can see out the window, stuff's going on. Very, very easy to get distracted. Whereas if you're in a job, you can't get distracted by things. You have a boss looking at you, making sure you're doing the work, in some instances, but you kind of want to make it seem as much like a job or as much as a business as you possibly can. A good way to actually operate as a business is to track absolutely everything. Let's say, like in the previous example, you have loads of stock that you're actually looking to sell, and maybe it's a clothing store for this example. If you have a certain amount of small t-shirts and the mediums are selling out a lot quicker, you're more likely to buy more mediums because you know that they sell more than you are likely to buy a small size if they don't sell as many. It's the same thing in trading, and if you kind of directly translate this into trading terms, you're not going to trade one setup if it isn't as profitable as another setup. You're not going to trade one pair if it's not as profitable as another pair. So if you're operating as a business, if one thing's selling more, you buy more and sell more of those. You promote that more. It's very, very simple. If you're operating as a business, it's very easy to just look and see, okay, this one sold more, I've made more money from this. Same thing in the trading. This pair makes me more money. This setup makes me more money. This time frame makes me more money. Very, very simple if you are tracking everything as if it were a business. To help with this, moving on to step 4, is you need to have a set routine. You need to wake up at a certain time. You need to go to sleep at a certain time. You need to get into the office, into the trading setup, which you actually have at a certain time. The reason for this is a lot of traders, they miss their setups. They're not on the charts, their setup missed, or they got stopped out because they couldn't manage to trade or anything like this. And this is because they don't have a routine. It's as simple as that. When I started taking my trading fully seriously, I knew exactly when I needed to have 100% focus on the charts. So I know from the hours of 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. technically, those 4 hours in the morning in the UK, those are my trading hours. So I know that from those times, I'm not going to book anything. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm not going to be distracted in those hours. Those are the hours that I need to set myself 100% focused so I can focus on not missing a setup. With my trading, I don't enter many trades. So on my personal account, you'll probably see 1 or 2 trading days per month. Past 7 months, I haven't really taken that many trades. I've probably had like 10, 15 trading days in the last 7, 8 months. This just comes down to knowing exactly what I want to see when I want to see it. And then I pull the trigger. Whereas if I was staring at the charts all day, just on and off, maybe I'd see a setup, maybe I wouldn't. If you're staring at the charts not during your trading hours, then you're not going to be able to enter the exact trades you've been testing. My advice for you is to backtest trades during a certain window. A lot of people call it like kill zones, but I just say 8 to 9 a.m. It's as simple as that. And once you've found a time that actually fits your strategy perfect and your entries appear most in that time, obviously winning trades, you don't want to enter the 9 to 10 a.m. has the highest frequency of trades present, but they also lose. Obviously don't use that, just use the ones which is making the most money. And then make sure you have no distractions at this time. Maybe your dog is annoying you when you're working. Sounds brutal, but maybe put him in a little cage next to you so that you can still focus while not being bombarded by pets wanting to play. Doesn't help with your trading results. And also having a set routine with waking up and going to bed, going to sleep, it is a lot easier for you to be focused because your body knows, okay, I wake up at this time, I have breakfast at this time, and I'm trading at this time. It knows, it recognizes that if you're in a routine, that's what's going to happen. You're going to sleep at this time, you're going to get tired at this time, you're going to wake up at this time. I don't know the science behind it, but there's definitely something there. And moving on to step number 5, and probably one of the most important steps, kind of touched on this a little bit, but it is to review your result. A lot of people trade without actually reviewing their performance. If I'm running a business, I want to know how that business is doing, whether it's at the end of every week, the end of every month, the end of every year, ideally, or even every day as well. If you are trading, if you're trading, you should be journaling every single day. It's as simple as that. With your weekly reviews, your monthly reviews, your yearly reviews, what you should be focusing on is how are you actually performing? You might have a good week, a good month in trading, but did you perform how you should be performing? Did you take the trades that you should be taking? Did you manage the trades how you should be managing them? A lot of people, they see a win and they just say that they're doing quite well, but it matters how you're actually managing that trade. As we know, psychology is very, very important in trading. It's probably more important than technicals because you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you can't actually act on that strategy, which is obviously all psychological, then how do you expect to make profit in the long run? Trading is a psychological game, probably more so than it is a technical game. So if you're noticing that maybe once you're in a large amount of profit, you're panicking, you're closing out early, you're missing out on profits. Granted, you're still making profit, but you're leaving so much money on the table. And doing these weekly reviews, these monthly reviews, daily back testing and journaling, this is something that can actually help you pick up on these mistakes, which in the long run will help you with your performance. And that's kind of the best way to treat it as a business. Like we mentioned previously with the clothing stock, you're not going to continue buying more small shirts, or you're not going to continue advertising an ad that doesn't work for you or that isn't optimized. It just doesn't really make sense. So with trading, you're going to want to optimize and only trade the best way possible. If you guys did enjoy and maybe learned a thing or two about trading as a business, then be sure to like the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.